You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, presented by the Only One Media Group. This is the people's choice for quality interviews, celebrities and special guests. Hosted by Demetrius Dini Reynolds. Call in to join the mix at 701-801-9813. For the complete archive of episodes, visit onlyonemediagroup.com and be sure to like us on Facebook at Vigilantes Radio. We welcome all. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds. Enjoy the show.
So the question is, what would you like to see? Imagine it is tomorrow and you're looking back on today and you ask yourself, what would you like to see? Whatever it is, now is your chance to make it happen. You have one opportunity to determine how you live this day, and that opportunity is right here, right now. Every moment is a choice. So when making these choices, consider how it will play out tomorrow, or a week from now, or next year, or even 5 years from here. The actions you take and the actions you fail to take have real and continuing consequences. Today, though, you can choose what those consequences will be going forward. The way you live today determines how your life will be when you arrive at tomorrow. Make the choices that will make you thankful for your good sense, and we all know that good sense will carry us a long way. Though this day will be over soon, what you do with this moment will echo far into your future. And I want you guys to just realize what a powerful opportunity that is and make something grand out of it now while it's still here. Could you do that for Dini? I'm sure you guys could.
You're live in the mix. Let's get this started.
Yo, it feels so good to be back with you guys once again. So one time for my people who are indigos and starseeds, and 2 times for my people who are vegans. We are averaging over 34,000 plus listeners, and we've been at this for 3 solid years. I appreciate all you guys who've been rocking with the kid on this journey, and we're still growing, baby. It is all because of you, most definitely. We are the people who have dedicated their lives to music, spirituality, business, literature, art, movies, and research in every aspect. And we want to allow you an opportunity to tell your story. Man, we've had celebrities on the show, from Grammy Award-winning artists, nominees, to actors, comedians, CEOs, technology geniuses, visual artists, from authors to professors and aliens. Or people who think they're aliens. It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. Come on our show and talk to me. So check it out. To book an interview or just to share a real cool story, email me at vradio@onlyonemediagroup.com. I'm passionate about what I do, just as passionate about what you do, and together, yes, together, we can get your voice heard by the people who should hear it. So let's create something incredible. And with that, hello out there, and welcome to another episode of our podcast, Vigilantes Radio. Thank you again, as always, for tuning in and being a part of our audience family. You know the number to dial. It's 701-801-9813 to connect with us or our guests, or you can hop in the mix directly from my website, which is onlyonemediagroup.com. Scroll over to the Vigilantes Radio tab and slap that go live button, and you'll be right here live in the mix with all of us, or in the chat room. So feel free to shoot over some questions to ask our guests while they are here. And as always, all episodes are available for free download. You can grab that from Spreaker.com/Only One Media Group. iTunes, YouTube, the app called Podcast Addict, or over at our website, and that goes for every single episode that we've ever aired.
So we don't want to keep you guys waiting any longer. Tonight's episode is the social-millennial-group interview, and I'm your host, Dini-Mussolini. So Vigilantes Radio, our interviews go beyond the music, beyond the books, beyond the business and the acting, and into the minds of the people who create it. From researching our special invited guests relentlessly, mining for details, and listening, reading, and watching everything we can, we're like TMZ. Our interviews are designed to bring out the best answers possible through thought-provoking questions that have real substance. Nah, we're not like TMZ. Sincere, warm welcome, though, to social-millennial-group to our show tonight. We will have an absolutely amazing time talking with them about their company, strategies, and the nowadays philosophies of social media marketing. So to find out, set your reminders. It's happening right now, actually. So hold on to your beer and your hats because we are about to dive deep. And with that, let's go ahead and welcome them to our show. SMG are now live in the mix with all of us. So how's it going and how are you feeling?
Awesome, Denny, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
No doubt, man. Straight off the bat, though, man, since I didn't have a name or an image to go along with everything, tell us your name and who you are.
Sure. Yeah, my name is Joe Clark. I come from California. I reside in Washington, D.C. That's where we're headquartered. And, so.
All right, cool deal. So we are super stoked to have you here with us tonight. And let's start from the top, maybe go into more depth of who you are, where you come from, and what's the background of your company, Social Millennials.
Awesome. Yeah, so firstly, my name is Joe Clark. I come by way of California, Ventura County, to be specific. I reside in Washington, D.C., and Social Millennial Group is a mobile marketing agency, if you will. There's a lot of people out here nowadays that say they're social media marketers and things of that nature, but we definitely try to separate ourselves from people who or agencies that have that profession, and we sit comfortably in the seat of mobile marketing and emphasize on the back end of converting followers into paid clients or customers.
Right. Okay.
Yes,
dope.
Absolutely.
All right. So, from what I've been able to experience, read, listen to, and research, the visual accompany element dealing with products and social media is taken just as seriously as a commercial on TV itself. Back in 2007, I owned and operated a popular store in South Mississippi in 2 locations. Very hectic work. But I used to write the ads myself for radio campaigns and commercial spots. And back in 2007, I thought that took a little innovation and a creative mind just to pull that off on a weekly basis. But we are talking about nowadays, social media. It's 2017, of course. Trump is president 10 years later. I'm speaking like we just, went into the warp zone. But, we are in the land of short attention spans, fast clicks, and a whole bunch of distractions for the naked eye. That's where your expertise come into play. So how do you do it? How do you coach brands or companies to stay innovative?
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely agree with what you're saying in regards to the distractions and the noisy marketplace that is existent today. And I think the best way to do so is, yes, absolutely have captivating and eye-catching ads or customer engagements on social media. But most importantly is to set the, if you will, traps, for lack of a better term, in order to be found. So what I mean is you can have beautiful ads, but 20 followers and not necessarily have that ad have the stretch that you would anticipate it to have. But the back end of it all keywords, targeted advertisements, targeted advertisements, SEOs, things of that nature are really where the magic happens in order to showcase that innovation and that eye-catching or captivating imagery in order to, spark interest and convert followers or eyes and attention into monetary value,
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where that's where our bread and butter is, and that's where we really, really, really try to focus on is, setting up effective sales funnels, top 10 SEO, very specific and targeted ads. We spent years accumulating the right softwares, doing research on hashtags, doing research on keywords to the extent that any industry that we partake in, we will definitely have the right arsenal to attack and approach the advertising campaign with. So
okay.
That's kind of our angle, and it's been working for us effectively nonetheless.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you, going back to what you just said about testing out all the hashtags and, spending years, learning the ropes and building everything up. Like I had a week to stay fresh in the radio world. And nowadays you barely get one day because of the fast moving of the internet world. I mean, everything is so fast now. So my question to you, though, is how long did it take you to, gain your niche where you were, like, comfortable with, like, okay, I have this product, I have these methods, let me put them on the market and see, and let it do what it do because we're confident at the, amount of time spent working on this product?
I see what you're saying. And just a sidebar, man, just from the interaction that we had to set this interview up to being on hold, your game is so tight. And as one young entrepreneur to the next, I give you so much props for that, man. Like,
thank you, sir.
We come very few and far in between, but you have your game so tight. And just that question you asked is kind of like, it's synonymous to like the answer I'm going to give you, which is like, when you got it or when you have it and it's not necessarily a time frame to say, okay, now I'm ready to go. You know what I mean? It's just like, have it, it's in me, and I'm going to take it to any extent that I need to succeed. And you just go for it in real time. One thing I did fall victim to is I developed an app and a software duo to supplement and that's another thing that separates us, to supplement our multimedia marketing agency. And I spent years trying to critique everything and every move that I made, every button, every color scheme, every transition, you know what I mean? And I spent years and years and years trying to make it the best to finally have the confidence to approach the marketplace with what I felt to be the perfect product. But, in all actuality, I just had to hit the pavement and, improvise accordingly in order to succeed, So I can't necessarily give you a time frame, but I definitely did research and develop what we have now over years. I can't necessarily tell you like, oh, right now is the time, or, a year ago when we really started gaining traction was the time. I just knew in my heart that if what I didn't have was the best, I would make it the best, and I would have that drive to keep me on top of the game and the industry.
Definitely. And your product is always changing, right?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
All right, so guys, when you get a chance to listen to this podcast, go back to this very sentence that he just said, that, sometimes you don't have all the, he didn't really say this word for word, but sometimes you don't really have all the kinks worked out. So instead of just staying in your back room 12, 15, 20 years working on the masterpiece, sometimes you have to put out what you already have together and make it work. And you work out the kinks along the way. He gave us props on the show, If only he knew. 3 years, and here we are, and we're still trying to build and make sure it's the best thing that we present. But I tell you, man, a year ago, it wasn't like this.
I totally empathize, and your game is tight, man. I'm very impressed. I can't wait to, I definitely want to keep in touch with you just beyond this. And I know we're on the air right now, but yeah, your game's tight, man. I definitely respect it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. What I want to know now is, what's the most important concept for you to get across to the dinosaurs of marketing, like someone like myself, back 10 years ago? Because that's really dinosaur age and marketing, if you really think about it. What do you do for the older mom and pop stores that are just super stubborn? They don't want to. I can't do Instagram. I can't do Snapchat. Well, your business isn't going to grow if you don't reach the people with the money. And, nowadays, younger people have all of the money. So what is your concept, in talking to dinosaurs?
This is, I'm going to give a little, a little tidbit or a secret to our sauce, if you will. Yes. And my initial question when approaching a client is, and I'll ask you the same thing, is what's the most valuable real estate on this planet? And they'll say, maybe the Taj Mahal Palace, or, maybe it's the White House. And I'll say no, and then they'll take another guess, and they'll say maybe it's the biggest penthouse in Manhattan, or some fancy mansion in Los Angeles. And I say no. I say the most valuable real estate on this planet is 5 inches by 3 inches. And they say, huh? And I say, it's the screen of your customer's phone. Once you plant your flag and you claim your stake on that 5 by 3, then you're in the win. It doesn't necessarily have to be by way of social media. Social media is an easy way to reach your target audience, not yours per se, but my client's target audience, because they all have Instagram. Who doesn't have, Snapchat? Who doesn't have Facebook? But nonetheless, we also app develop. So, I'll develop a loyalty app form, or a simple iMessage sticker app form, or anything to claim real estate within that 5 by 3. Once you're on that phone, I mean, the possibilities for conversions are endless. And that's one message that I tell to the dinosaurs, is that, yeah, you don't really have to be social media savvy. It will behoove you to definitely know the ins and outs of this thing, because it's not going anywhere. And it's like the Wild West, man. It's up for the taking. So whoever's got the best marketing scheme is, in 10 years, going to be, evolved from the dinosaur into the human, or whatever you want to call it. But nonetheless, I tell them, and I tell anybody that's in business, man, you got to claim your stake on these cell phones, because before you know it, just like the computer's obsolete now, the cell phone will be obsolete, and you just want to have your brand name relevant on whatever platform it may be on. So.
Mm-hmm. And I like that word you used, loyalty. Those loyalty programs go a long way.
Yeah, man, really, don't they?
Yes. All right, so what sort of stuff do you consider to be the must-haves in a visual representation from companies in their social media campaign?
If you can elaborate a little bit more on that question, I may be able to answer it in my best.
Sure.
In the best way.
Mm-hmm. I'll give you a scenario. Well, I won't give you a scenario. That's a bad one. All right. So I can go on Instagram or even Snapchat, and the way that videos, let's talk about music. All right. Videos go a long way more than just audio. People will watch a music video before they listen to, just the audio version of the song. And in these videos, you have different products, maybe, like if you, listen to Nicki Minaj or Drake or The Game, they advertise in beats. So, that's an ad there. And everything, to me, is all about visuals. I think my show would be larger if we were on video. I'm just not ready for that. But when companies approaching you and they're like completely clueless about what to do with their social media, is the visual part more important than, let's say, the actual message? Like the visual, like they have products that, you know, they need to be sold. Are you guys finding like the prettiest girl with the prettiest smile, or like, you know, you get what I'm saying? Like how to make things flashy. Yeah. So what do you consider to be the must-haves in those type of situations?
First and foremost, I mean, I think they must have the want and the need to stay relevant. And if they have that hunger, then the visuals will be easy, because we also do video recording. Like when we say we're a full-service 5-star multimedia agency, we do it all, app dev. We record videos, and it's not like iPhone videos. We come fully geared. But yeah, I definitely agree with the visuals. And I mean, if you look at Joe Budden and DJ Academic's show, right? What is it called?
I'm not sure. I just found out about it, really. I'm not sure what it's called,
I mean,
though.
It's so captivating because of the visuals, right? You see the passion that they have, or the Breakfast Club, if you will, right? They weren't really popping until they went on YouTube, right? So visuals are definitely important, and that's something that I definitely try to tell my clients. Like, we have to do an about us story, because that is the message. And if the picture speaks 1,000 words, then a video must speak 1,000,000. You know?
Is that you doing the selfie stick video?
Yeah, man, I'm trying to hide that right now. I'm not trying to.
Oh man, that was perfect. Man. Yeah, that was perfect. That was perfect. I like that video better than the others, honestly. I was like, okay, now we can put a face with the brand. But it was cool, man. You know, you dropped the stick and all, but that's okay. It's okay. You're human. You're human. But it was a cool video, bro.
Thank you, man. I'm still like in shock and awe that the selfie sticks even exist, dude. Like, they're such a great invention.
Yeah. I actually own one or two.
Yeah, man. So.
All right.
Yeah, but you know, visuals are very, very important, and that's something that if any of my clients or potential clients are listening to, you know, if you don't want to jump into social media, then you know what, you have to jump into something that is gonna, you know, make you noticeable, because as you said, Dini, it's a very noisy marketplace and competitive marketplace out there.
Okay. So this next question is like a practice what you preach kind of thing. Do you also use those same methods for your business model?
Absolutely. But as of now, we haven't released any of the footage. Like, for instance, the selfie stick video, I'm trying to keep everything under wraps, because it is so important to have aesthetically pleasing and very beautiful imagery behind your company, that if it's not, you can't half step your first step, right? The first step, you have to jump completely off the porch with it. And that's something that we're trying to practice and preach. So yes, we have a lot of visuals, but we haven't released them yet, because we still have to find our, not necessarily find, we found it. We just have to have a surplus of it, because once the demand is there, we need to have the supply to meet it, you know?
And you guys actually have a portfolio, which is very impressive to me. We interviewed a few like social groups, and they're either just getting off the ground or they've been at it for a while, that they're just trying new things, and not a lot of clients or experience with clients. So you having an actual portfolio is very impressive to me. All right, so
thank you, man.
I like to, no doubt, man. I like to ask you a couple of questions regarding like influences, or the wave, as we call it in the music industry. So we know mass opinion influences everything. And this is something that smaller companies wish they could predict and stay on top of. But we know by the time they catch on to it, the wave has shifted and mass interest has changed. So how does your company bridge this gap for the smaller companies?
So in short, you're asking me, how do we keep our clients on the wave?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I mean, just staying immersed. Well, firstly, we don't take all clients, and that's something that, and I'm glad you brought up these new agencies, man. Ty Lopez has these kids really like jumping in this game, you know, like, no, man, there's people out here such as ourselves that have been years in this heavy, man, before social media, like just in regards to email marketing is just, you know, so anyway, nonetheless, like just to stay on the wave we're very selective with who we take on as clients, and we immerse ourselves. We'll spend, say we have a client, I can't disclose their name, but they're in the cosmetic industry. We spend a week in their office, in the cut, you know. We'll be in the lobby the whole week, just chilling, working, even working with other clients, you know, online or anything like that. But we have to be in the environment and immerse ourselves in it. Then we try to understand the industry. Once we have a good grasp on that, then with our innovation, because I have about 4 or 5 people that I work with. It's not just me, myself. And with all that innovation, millennial innovation, I mean, how could you not stay on top of the wave? You know what I mean? If you know the game and you're immersed in it and you have passion behind your client, there's no way you can't, you know, in my opinion.
Man, that is impressive. You guys actually camp out in these companies.
Oh yeah.
Man, that is super dope. That is super dope. That's the first time I've heard that. That's why I'm so stoked over it. I'm like, wow. Okay. I see what you guys are doing. Wow. All right.
And
but
you know what you?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, we were talking about this earlier, like in the interview, and it's like this, and the reason why we take it to this extent is because, as I tell my clients, as I tell people who wonder what we do, this thing is really the wild, wild west, man. Everything is up for grabs online, in marketing, on social media, and if you or me or anyone else doesn't really find their niche and their formula to produce the best, you know, the most optimal product for their clients, then they're losing, because there's, you know, thousands of people now, you know, and you mentioned the music industry. I mean, there's so many rappers now, right? And it's like, where is the good music? Because everybody's a rapper now, you can't take it serious, right? So it kind of transcends even into the marketing industry. You know, you just got to really be in it in order to win it. And that's just something that we live by.
Yep, I think we lost a bit of your statement there. You kind of went silent for a minute.
My apologies. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
No, I was just saying, you know, and even in the music industry, as well as the marketing industry, you know, Ty Lopez is telling all these kids, you can be a marketer, and it's like, you know, you have your Little Yachties, or, you know, these rappers that are just coming out the woodworks. Now everybody's a rapper, so the music industry is very saturated, and so is the marketing industry. So, like, there has to be something that separates you from the masses in order for you to be taken seriously. And that's something that we pride ourselves in, is like completely immersing ourselves in our clients' environment in order to produce the best product is all I'm trying to say, you know?
Definitely. All right. Even though you're pretty young yourself, are you finding it difficult to stay ahead of the curve as well? Because I struggle with it. I'm not that old, but under 40, under 35. And sometimes I don't think I'm just hip anymore, and I refuse to do current events on my podcast, like, you know, popular shows do, like The Breakfast Club, as you mentioned, or DJ Academics, because I can't stay ahead of the curve. You know, Drake may break his ankle, and, you know, they're all on it tomorrow, and I'm okay. I think about it next month, you know, sometime. But you know, as the world turns, though, are you finding it difficult yourself to stay on the curve?
Yes and no, and I say that because I don't find it difficult to stay on the curve because I'm in it. Like, I'm on social media all the time. I'm on emails. I'm on it. I'm in it. I live it. Like, so I'm not necessarily I'm not
behind the curve, but because I'm in my late 20s, I'm 28 now, just turned 28, I find it hard to care as much. You see what I'm saying?
Like
I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, oh my
that's
God, let's
it.
da-da-da-da-da, and I'm like, dude,
yeah,
I don't
that's
care.
it. Yeah. It does nothing for my pockets, so.
But there's a method in our industry called newsjacking, and being on top of current events, you can advertise, like, say if a client makes art studio equipment, and Kendrick Lamar comes out with a new voice or a new sound or a new plugin, right, for his vocals, right? We can take that news and jack it and apply it to our clients and basically, crank it out to have more exposure. So we have to stay on top of the news, but we don't care. Drake broke his ankle, oh well.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that brings me to my next question. Because you sound like one of my, I wouldn't say mentor, but somebody I listened to and read a lot of his books. You sound a bit like Robert Kiyosaki when you posed the question about what is the, how did you say it? About the prime real estate. Except that he said something else and you said it's your phone. That's how innovative you are, because we're in the age of the phone. And when he said that, it was like, what, 20, 30 years ago? Who knows? All right, so name some of your business influencers. Like, who did you study under and who inspired you to develop the social millennials?
Honestly, man, I read a lot. I mean, from Napoleon Hill to Earl Nightingale to, there's so many authors. Henry Thoreau.
Mm-hmm.
Just Ralph Emerson, Waldorf Emerson. Just so many. I find that there's a lot of value in the old heads, man, like the ones from the 1920s when, steel wasn't hot, when Standard Oil wasn't hot, and these cats just completely changed the game. Like, these are the mentors I try to find, and I really dig deep on YouTube to find them. In regards to, like, modern day, like, people I've studied or learned from, I've had a few mentors in marketing. My dad was in the music industry, and, like, he was an A&R at first, and he did artist development, then he did publishing, music publishing, and I saw how he would take artists and market them, and how, like, he had to be above the curve or over the curve in order to turn a profit. And I remember being really young before he was in the music industry, and he would, he would wire people's houses up because he was an electrician at first. And I would just really study that and just be like, wow, my dad, like, went outside with nothing, right? And he came home with a stack full of money, like, wow, And, and my dad was well-read, and he always used to tell me, like, always read and learn and, ancestors, and not necessarily channeling or anything like that. I'm very spiritual, but, like, to tap into their psyche by way of their literature is just something that I find myself doing if I'm not on social media or if I'm not, behind-the-scenes email marketing.
Definitely. Man, we definitely have to get you on our show called Skeptics, and that's where we talk about all kind of things like spirituality, business, you name it. It's a little different from these interviews, but yeah, I think you enjoy that. So I think I'll extend you an invitation to come on that show with us as a part of the
for sure.
Yeah, the round table, if you will. So a lot of people, though, carry around the misconception that having basic or general ideas of marketing means that there is nothing new that the marketing world can offer, because everything has been done twice and there's nothing new under the sun, as Nas once said. But can you explain to the fine people out there that feel that way how this is a BS theory or uninformed belief system that, there aren't any new marketing strategies, everything just been regurgitated?
Yeah, man, you're right. That is BS, and it's lazy, and I don't like it because, commerce commerce has been existent since like currency, dude. Like, yeah, obviously back in the medieval times, you'd go to the marketplace and trade whatever you had to for some meat for the day, right? But so I mean, and that still transcends into today. Like, you pay cash for this. So I mean, the fundamentals of marketing, the fundamentals of, you know, monetary transactions, yeah, they're still there. But if you, not you per se, but just if anyone thinks that there's not any new innovations or new approaches in order to do it in a more efficient way or a more lucrative way, that's just pure laziness. And yeah, that's what I would tell them if anyone told me that. That's BS. I mean, just the simple fact that, you know, you see movie previews on your phone now is proof that, yeah, it's still a movie preview, but it's not on the same platform anymore. Who watches TV now? It's Netflix. You know what I mean? Like, It's YouTube. Like, so, you know, those are the people that I love because competitively, like, cool. If you don't think there's anything new under the sun, watch me do it. You know?
Exactly. All right. So without giving, you know, any secrets away, is there a formula of some sort that you found that works for your company when setting up shop with new clients? And we know that you camp out in the companies, but beyond that, how does the process start?
I think that is our secret, man, just bonding with our clients. But we do start we select our clients, man. Like, I can't tell you how we generate leads, but 9 times out of 10, the leads find us before we find them. And that's not in the pompous way am I saying this, but we hand select our clients. And I think that's what gives us the head start, or the lead, if you will, to, you know, start on a good foot. Like, if, let's say, and I'm not opposed to taking on, like, say, a painter or a plumber or a home improvement guy, right? I don't know anything about that, but in order for me to start off on a good foot with that client, I would have to, like I said, camp out, immerse myself in his struggle or in his work. And once I find out exactly what his pain points are and what his customers and clients need, you know, just that's when the magic happens. That's when, you know, I talk to my people and my guys and we just come up with just magic, man. And it's just as simple as that. It's just being really engaged and not just doing it for the money, but doing it for the purpose and the message behind the marketing.
Definitely. All right.
You know?
So how do you know for certain when they're making progress and strides in a different but better direction? And you can tell me if I'm wrong on this, but I normally coach people about, you know, turning head counts into dollar counts. Like, for instance, I could watch my social media grow all day long, but that doesn't mean they are shopping with me. The social millennials only focus on numbers, or are you guys helping these businesses reel people in to these brick and mortar spots as well? And I know you can't do their jobs for them. I know most of them probably prefer that you do their jobs for them, but determine simple economics of supply and demand. And it's just the basic rule. If you're not selling what people want, you know, how can you expect? I don't know. Let me just start right there. So, yeah, how do you know for certain that you're making progress and, you know, the direction is going in a better direction? You know, those head counts are turning into dollar counts.
Dude, first off, man, mad props for asking that question and bringing that to light. Thank you, man. There's a lot of cats out here that think they are marketers because they can post stuff on Twitter, and it's like, dude, what? You're messing up the game, bro. Like, but yeah, the way it's just heavy analytics. It's heavy analytics. It's complete engagement in the actual sales process and conveying that sales process in an incentivized way online. And that's by, can you hear me?
Definitely.
Okay, yeah, that's by like SEO, sales funnels, email marketing, dude. Like, it's a hunt, and that's how we treat it, man. Like, you can post whatever you want, hashtag it however you want, but if it's not getting into the buyer's hands, like, and I don't mean these specific buyers, but people who buy, if they don't see it, then it's irrelevant. So what we specialize in is finding people who buy and setting up those traps, if you will, to captivate them and to be like, okay, what is this company about? And that's something that people in this industry or in this game don't understand. They think that, okay, I got 200 followers for you today, Mr. Blah, blah, blah. I did a great job, didn't I? And if I were Mr. Blah, blah, I'd be like, no, bro, like, I'm trying to make this money. Mm-hmm. So what we specialize in is finding the buyers, finding people who are interested in that niche, people who are proven to buy product from that niche, and then showcasing or showing them what our clients have to offer to increase the possibility for them to buy.
Definitely.
You understand what I'm saying? And we prove that by heavy analytics. But I'd be lying to say, like, oh, yeah, I can guarantee my customers, $1 million sales if they come with us. Like, if any of my clients or potential clients are listening, that's not what I ever promise my clients. But I guarantee you that we will get you very, very close to a sale. If you don't get a sale, that would be on you. Very confident in our ability.
Definitely. Like, how many people have offered you a job with their companies after you've explained what you do?
I just had a proposal just before you called, and I don't know if I can mention their name, but there's these guys out in Switzerland, and they're making an app. And I can't really go into it, but they find us online. I swear to God, man, I can't make this up. They find us before we find them. Wow. And it's just really is, I can't tell you what we do to hook them in, but they find us, and I really believe it's divine intervention, and it's God, because I don't know if anyone's not religious here, but I know I put my heart in this hustle, and my people put their heart in this hustle, and what you put out is what you get back. So
definitely. I mean, just from sitting here listening to you, I could tell you one thing is it is definitely because you know what you're talking about. You get a lot of people who just talk good, and then then you have people who actually do the work, like Bill Nye, the science guy. He said he's just a speaker of science. He's not really a scientist. He can't he can't do any of that sciencey stuff. He just does his job. So you have those type of people, and you have the people who actually mix the chemicals, make it happen. I call them wizards, and you, my friend, are definitely a wizard.
Thanks, man.
All right, no problem. So you're dealing, and you mentioned this earlier, you're dealing in a cutting edge part of business, marketing and apps. Man, I couldn't fathom. So you definitely approached the scene with incredible work ethic, and I'm wondering, how much pressure do you put on yourself to keep as current as you do?
I don't put the pressure on me. It's the pre-existing pressure. It's like if I don't stay on top of my game, I don't eat, and it's really that simple. A lot of these new marketers, if you will, they have a job and they're trying to make a supplemental income while they go to school and then all this. Nah, with me, this is what I do. So that's how I stay ahead. And the shameless plug here, if anyone's listening, we do develop apps, and the way we stay cutting edge with these apps is we implement augmented reality, which is a fairly new technology. It's old to me, but it's synonymous or parallel to virtual reality, and it's a very cutting edge way to promote your new products or services. So if you're listening, we can definitely do that for you as well.
Dope. All right, I feel the visual element of the internet is what leads to populate mass interest in today's world, meaning that successful attention-grabbing videos equal a larger audience. And I'm pretty sure you've had some great success with your video marketing on platforms like Snapchat, Periscope, and Instagram Live using your services. Could a company or a person visibly see a difference in the size of a crowd as their video ads and awareness of their online presence grows? Is there a correlation there?
Absolutely. I mean, transparency is where it's at, man.
Yeah. Okay. So dealing with the press and the media, I've experienced a ton of community, positive vibes, love, and support sometimes. Through promotions, though, this is what I come to believe on some scales. And this is not like directed at you, but I've generally been led to believe in almost nothing, or at least to question things as best as I can in an effort to reveal like the true intentions behind our words. And things that scare me the most, and I'm not saying all these like they don't apply to you, but the things that tend to scare me the most and make me question the potential gimmickry behind the machines, like Taylor Lopez, for example, are things like people claiming to have all the answers or the one and only answer that exists, guaranteed and promises, listing ratings that reflect like pop culture needs more than they do relevant ideas. So out of the corner of my curious eye, we might take a notice of a statement on your website over at social-millennial-group.com. Great website, by the way. I like the colors. Very easy on the eyes. It reads that you guys are a 5-star full-service multimedia agency, and naturally that made me want to know more. So some people just have a nearly impossible time putting faith in anything that is so secure in itself to be guaranteed. Like you can say these new age media groups, some of them do burn their clients and burn them so bad like they don't have faith in the ones who actually can do the best work possible. So here you are, my friend. Here's the moment, and I'm rolling out the red carpet in a completely sincere invitation to explain your statement of your company. So here you go.
What makes us a 5-star full-service multimedia agency isn't self-proclaimed. It's reviewed. It's before we take on a client, we ask them how they find us. Before we finish with a client on the monthly, we ask by email, how many out of 5 stars would you give us in regards to your service? A. B, we over-deliver everything. If we send you a proposal, we're going to send you a 15-page audit. Before you sign the deal and you give us any money, you have a 20-page audit, or you have a promotional video we shot out of just the blue, out of all the press we found online. Like, everything is just completely over-delivered. But most importantly, besides our business ethics, is that if we don't know how to do it, we'll tell you that we don't know how to do it, but then we're going to do it. And that's what separates us from these other cats, is if we don't know how to do it, listen, we don't know how to do this, but we're going to find out how to do it, and it'll be done by the time we need that invoicing. You know, and I don't sleep. I'm up. We're up. We do this. So I'm never one to say that we are a fix-all, but I'm not one to say that we won't fix it. And I'm not sure if you're tracking what I'm saying, but if we don't know how to do something, it doesn't stop that we don't know how to do something. We're going to figure out how to do it, and then we're going to do it, and then we're going to over-deliver when we do.
Wow.
And that's what makes us 5-star.
That's great. That is great. All right, so
like,
I've noticed...
Denny, let me just say
yeah.
Like,
go ahead.
You've been to like a 5-star restaurant, right? You've been to like, you've been like after the club, you've been at Denny's, but then if you go to like Ruth's Chris and you say, hey, I would really like cracked pepper I would like this corn pepper that's particular, and they don't have it. If you've been to a 5-star restaurant, they will go to the store and get you the pepper that you want and bring it back. That's what makes them 5-star restaurant or a 5-star hotel, and that's where we got that.
Definitely.
Because we'll do the same thing for our clients.
Man, that must be nice. Must be nice. Must be nice. All right, Joe, I noticed there's another social millennial company stationed in London, UK. Are these two business connected somehow?
No, and I want to make that very clear. We are social millennial group. They're the social millennials. We have no correlation with them.
Cool. All right, so here's the open floor, my friend. I'd like to thank you for taking part in this incredible interview with you. Of course, you made it incredible, and for your time and effort in answering all of my ramblings. I know I could just go on and on and on sometimes, and sometimes it don't make sense, but help yourself to our open floor, a place where you can say anything that you like to the people out there, anything that we missed or anything that comes to mind that you want to say to our listeners once this episode goes live. It's been more of a pleasure getting to know you and your work, so thanks again.
Awesome, man. Just, you can find us at www.social-millennial-group.com. Go ahead and send us a message or whatever pain points you have in scaling your company and marketing mobily or online. We'll get to it as fast as possible. We have a few clients, and as I said, we're very selective, but if it looks good, we'll definitely help you out with that. As I said, we do app dev, anything from app dev to your just typical plain Jane social media marketing, if you will. So, we're full scale email marketing. We do monthly blogs for our clients, monthly newsletters. We do it all. So, www.social-millennial-group.com. The last thing I'd like to say, Danny, is, man, keep it up, man. You're going places, bro, and you can tell when all the cracks and the details are taken care of. That's how you know somebody really cares about their craft, man. Like, just keep it up, bro. I want to stay in touch, man.
Definitely, we will do that.
Thanks for having me.
Definitely. Are you ready for the last part of the show, though?
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
All right. So after the music break, we're just going to take a second here to catch our breaths. It'll be time for our usual tradition. It is called the hot seat, and the fans of this program actually love this part of the segment, and of course, along with the actual interview. But the audience get to hear either some vocals, poem, inspirational speech, written work, spoken word, maybe a freestyle rap, recite some lyrics, maybe you have a joke or two, stories, or maybe you can play a live instrument from our special guests. Well, you never know what these creative minds and vessels will produce in the spotlight. And tonight, we'll find out if Joe Clark have what it takes to be put on the spot, a test of his true artistry, and maybe even some hidden talents. So I'm not sure if you're ready for that, but we're going to cut to some music, man, and give you a chance to, go over a few things, I guess.
Oh, yeah, man, I'm cool. Yeah, let's do it.
All right, cool deal.
To the jawbone, spun me to the light of a lost soul. Call me to the booth where they gon' fold. To get there, gotta die where you once roamed. And it wasn't a silence, making me hallucinate perpetual crisis. Dipping in the entity of bitter inside is meant to be the enemy of all of mankind is. Why I wanted to find you, sick enough to give me anything to define you. Maybe if the element is relevant enough to any situation, I commit to anyone I wanna base it off of.
But dying and I'm down to a crawl. Reeling over when I fall. I see it double. I've given it all to be weak, a dream reality. What is meant to be ain't up to me. I've gotta just believe that everything's a lead. So I'm hanging by a useless 45 revolution. In the sky, would you come on down and save my world right now and spin this day like a
infinite when it comes to the playlist. Batman and King with a fabulous. Passionate to give a scene that Jim on a word with clay biz slave ship. Put it down one time for the corporate. Hands up one time for the corpses. Get paid for golden fortune. This final walking morphin'.
But dying and I'm down to a crawl. Reeling over when I fall. Seeing double, feeling small. I've given it all to be weak, a dream reality. What is meant to be ain't up to me. I've gotta just believe.
to design this shift for the elements, for the betterment. Try to elude illusion, refuse the settlement. The rule is evident. Tuned from the day I diffuse the due date of act to delicate.
Right down to the predicates, my sentiments straight from the mass home. What's bad to the lab for development? Stop boy, homeboy, like yes, yo. Body contortionist, vocal cord up, big old portion when rope out the tone, speak, we got the breach, put on the I'm back and the last the fork again.
Now we are back. That was No Longer the Hero with their song 45 Revolutions. All right, seamless connections. The moment you have the intention is the moment to start acting on it. Give power, give commitment, persistence to your intention by giving it immediate effort. As soon as you decide to achieve, set that achievement in motion. Prove to yourself you're serious and earn yourself some serious momentum right away. That moment when you set your intention, your passion is running at full throttle. I mean, you can feel it on the inside. Your sense of purpose is focused as sharp as a laser beam on the goal. I mean, you heard Joe Clark talking. He doesn't sleep. The man is full of passion. This is his passion here. So you can do that too. Just, make a step forward. That's all you got to do. Of course, with a plan, but make the most of that moment, because it all starts with one action, and that action is making a move forward. Use it to lock yourself into action, to empower that action with a deep, sustained meaning. Achievement happens because you make it happen. Avoid delay, avoid regret, avoid the oh woe is me, jump right into the effort and keep it going. Create the seamless connection between the decision and the action. That's what transforms intention into achievement. You better believe it. All right, so let's go ahead and bring him back on. Here's Joe Clark, the man of the hour. What do you have for us?
Awesome. So I have two quotes, and kind of like an explanation for them. Is that a talent? Is that good enough?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dope. The first quote is, faith is to believe what you do not see. The reward of faith is to see what you believe. Second quote is, faith, it's all about believing. You don't know how it will happen, but you know it will. So the explanation, or what I get from that, and what I'd like to share with, your listeners, is that, the mind and human will is a gift from God, and it's a reflection of God. And I don't mean Jesus or anything else, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anyone's religion, but I think God, as the substance or the creator or the creative substance of all things, is within us all. And if we practice faith and will, we can see its fruits, or his fruits, if you will. I call God it. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is, like, these skyscrapers you see in New York, or that house that you live in, or that car that you drive, was nothing before. It wasn't even a sketch. It was just an idea. And the person who created the house you live in, or the car you drive, or the skyscraper you see, had to have faith and perseverance to make it into a reality. And that's something that I want, the listeners who are listening to this that maybe want to have their own podcast like Dini, or want to have their own, multimedia agency such as myself, just start with that vision and just keep that faith and lock on to what you believe in. Lock on to what you believe in and watch it come to fruition. Water that seed. Watch that thing grow. But you have to stay down until you come up. Stay positive with it. Stay steadfast. Stay grateful. But most importantly, stay faithful. And that's all I want to say, big dog. I appreciate the opportunity tonight, man.
No problem, man. That was great. That was a great message. And a great interpretation of that message as well. We definitely appreciate that.
Thank you, my Vigilantes family, as always, for checking out my podcast over here at Vigilantes Radio. All episodes are available for free download, and you can grab it from either Spreaker.com/only1mediagroup, iTunes, YouTube, the app called Podcast Addict, or our website, which is only1mediagroup.com, and that goes for every single show that we've ever aired. If you'd like to request music or send something for us to play, email it to theradio@only1mediagroup.com. Here my disclaimer: we are genre free, we do not judge, and we absolutely do not base our opinions on hearsay but facts alone. And actually, you can scratch all of that because all of my opinions are always right. That's the bottom line. This is my show, something you gotta deal with. Nah, just kidding. On behalf of myself, dini-mussolini, I appreciate you guys for tuning in either afterwards or live with us. Spread the word because sharing is caring. And also special thanks to our guests for joining us. We stepped up our game just for you guys and our guests to make sure you have the best experience here on our show. Be sure to connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Tumblr. We are all over. Just connect with us and we do follow back. Okay, well, just remember to be yourself and be absolutely freaking great at just doing that. Peace.
You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, the people's choice for quality interviews, art, music, and hot topics. Hosted by Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds of the duo No Longer the Hero. All episodes of this podcast are available for free download at www.onlyonemediagroup.com. This is a Seventh Sign Regime Rebirth Worldwide Syndicate exclusive.